And it's recording. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to the Hilltop Informational meeting about the rental event. Today, we're joined by Eddie Lucas, a representative from Music and Arts, here to talk about renting or owning an instrument. Take it away, Eddie.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Eddie Lucas, and I'm a school services representative for Music and Arts, and I service San Diego County schools as well as Imperial County schools. So I usually see Mr. Corpus once a week, once every other week to kind of take care of all of his needs for his music program. So what I'm going to do is just explain the rental program and how it works. And then I've shared my screen so that you can see the QR code that I've got there, which will take you directly to the Hilltop High School rental page on our website, and you can rent directly from there. And anything that's rented, instruments can be delivered directly to the school or to your home. So if you're not familiar with Music and Arts is a part of the Guitar Center enterprise. So there is Guitar Center, Music and Arts, Musician's Friend, Music 123, and Woodwind Brasswind. We are all a part of the same Guitar Center enterprise, but we kind of have our separate departments. But if you're kind of shopping online and you kind of order something from those sites, it all ships from the same warehouse. So we're one big happy family, but we still kind of have our individual departments. But the rental program is it's completely month to month. You're not locked to anything. So if you rent for 6 months, you rent for a school year and decide you don't want to do band or orchestra anymore, then just return the instrument, everything stops. So technically it is a rent to rent program. So you do accrue monthly rental credit on that instrument each month. So if you do decide to purchase that instrument, you can apply rental credit to purchasing and owning that instrument. Um, the For kind of like our group one instruments, flute, clarinet, trumpet, trombone, and percussion kits, they all rent for the same rate. Those are $22 per month, and every $22 goes right towards your rental credit on that instrument each month. We do offer a liability damage waiver, or LDW. For those instruments, it's an additional $6 per month, which covers it for any repairs while you're renting it. It is optional. You can always take it off later, but you can never add it later. So if you rented an instrument and you didn't get the LDW and something were to happen to it, then the customers are liable for repair costs. So that $6 covers repairs. Usually, if I know in advance, I can actually get a loaner to the school so the kid has something to play while that instrument is gone to the shop. We'll get it fixed and we'll get it back to the school for you. The LDW also covers if the instrument is stolen from a secure location. So if someone breaks into the band room, breaks into your car, breaks into your home, takes that instrument, then Music and Arts takes care of that instrument. Just provide us with the police report. It doesn't cover like mysterious disappearances. So if it's left on the courtyard or in a gym parking lot and someone picks it up and walks away with it, then the customers are liable for it. The next level of instruments, which are going to be like our oboe, alto sax, and cellos, those all rent for the same rate. Those are $40 per month and $8 for the damage coverage on those instruments. And then the background instruments, we consider background like piccolo, bass clarinets, tenor saxes, French horns, baritones. Those all rent for the same rate as well. Those are $60 per month and $11 a month for the LDW on that. Now at the high school level, like, usually, obviously you've been playing through middle school, but we also do offer a what we call a step up program or upgrade your sound program. So that's a time of the year, usually twice a year, where we actually offer great deals on intermediate and professional model instruments. So even if you're renting a student model and say after 1 year, 2 years, and you've been renting that instrument, then you can actually apply some rental credit to actually purchasing an intermediate or step up model instrument. And I haven't done one in a long time just based off the pandemic, but normally during that time of the year, we'll all get kind of sent. The reps will get sent like these step up instrument packages with different brands and models. And normally we try to get into the schools, and when a director is working like a top band, we can get in there, and so the students can demo those instruments and kind of see what it feels like to play, an intermediate model versus a student model. I mean, student models obviously made for durability. They're going to get the job done, but those intermediate and professional model horns, the metal is a whole lot softer, and they're just designed to, be pretty much flawless under your fingers. So just kind of taking that playing to the next level on that. But other things with the rental contract, if, like I said, I do see Russell, pretty often. So if there's any issues with that instrument, we can get it taken care of for you. If you need to return the instrument, usually I have it set up in the system where, you can call it in, return it at the school, usually leave it with the director, and then, and I can just pick it up from the director and get that process for you. But other than rentals, we do offer all the additional accessories that you would need. So if it's reeds, mouthpieces, any accessories like that, cork grease, valve oil, little things like that, sticks, mallets, we do all that as well. I know we've ordered several things over the years for the program, but if a student wants to purchase their own box of reeds or their own mallets, then I can assist with that and get that taken care of. But other than the rental program, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. Month to month, we carry, all the top brands that are out there. So like, if you're kind of shopping around, we kind of, like, directors sometimes push this as well. It's like if you're finding something on Amazon or other sites, these instruments will work, until they break. If it's like a, $150 red clarinet, like I've seen those instruments melt at band camp. So, just kind of avoid those situations. And so, like I said, we do rent high quality instruments, student level instruments that, that are going to get the job done for you. And, so you're, ready and set to play every time you open your case. So if there's any questions or anything like that, I can answer. If you want to, come off mute, you can, or if you just want to drop it in the chat, then we can answer that as well. I will be at the school on Monday the 26th, and my plan is to bring some instruments there. So if parents, if you want to rent, then we can just, I mean, the QR code's here, but if I'll have it that night as well, and then you can rent, and then just kind of take home your instrument that night. At the high school level, there's really kind of maybe sometimes the method books are involved. I didn't have a method book set up into the preferences just yet, but if I need to, Russell, I can add a method book in there if students are purchasing or want to purchase their own method book. But I just have it set up just to rent instruments in there. So I will be there. I think it's going to be during a band camp, so kind of in the evening. So I'll be there. I think we're going to do like 6 to 8 maybe, and I'll bring instruments, and I'll have everything ready to roll.
Just before I speak, anyone questions? Well, I do have a question, Eddie, because I know my percussionist will ask. They see a picture of a snare drum and a bell kit here. Is that what my percussionists are able to rent?
Yes, so we rent the percussion learning kit, which is basically that combination kit. So it's going to be usually a 13-inch or 14-inch snare based off the model or brand of the kit. Like I think Yamaha usually does a 13-inch snare, and I think Pearl does a 14-inch snare. But we rent both of those kits, and also is going to have, I think it's a 2.5 octave bell kit. And it'll
Nice.
come with stands for both sticks and mallets, and also has, I think, like a 6-inch practice pad in there as well. And it's kind of packaged into a little rolling cart bag where you can just roll it around and everything like that. But yeah, we do rent those kits.
Another question, Eddie. When one person clicks on here, I know you said this is a rent period, but
Mhm.
is it true that it says right here 100% of your rental payments apply towards the purchase of an instrument? Does that mean later down the line, if the student wants to purchase it, the cost would just be would be different?
Yeah, so basically, every state's a little bit different. So I think in California, I just have to double check. It should be up to, um, I think, 2 years of rental credit based off the group level of instrument. So, like for example, like if you rent a clarinet for 1 year or 10 months out of the school year, say if you kind of think about it that way, you've got $220 in rental credit. So if you choose to purchase that instrument after 1 year or 10 months, then we take a cash price of an instrument minus your rental credit minus 30%.
So, so you get an extra account, meaning that if you, because it depends on the state. So if the student rents it for this amount of time, then you calculate how much they've already been paying towards it, and when you give the final bill or price, it will be less than the selling price.
Right.
So,
We have a question here on the room. Go ahead, Lopez.
okay, so basically, if I rented out an instrument for 11 months, going halfway, because yeah. So, if I wanted to purchase the instrument at the end of that, it would be cost less, or if I want to rent it out again, it would cost less.
So like I said, we would take a cash price of an instrument. So say 11 months, that's what, $242 a month, I believe. $242 in rental credit. So we would take a cash price of well, let's say for example, if we're looking at a percussion kit. So like say usually those range anywhere from like new like 450 up to like 660 based off brands and models. So like say if you get a 660 percussion kit, then we would take that cash price minus $242 in rental credit minus 30%, and you purchase an instrument.
And so instead of paying for 660, if you rented it for 11 or 10 months, it'd be 660 minus 240 minus an extra 30%.
So about like
Right.
$300 then.
Even less than that? Is that correct, Eddie?
Yeah, I would kind of have to run the math on it.
There'd be some maths.
Let me see real quick. 242 take away.
Either way, to those watching this video, a rental program like this is one of the best and is standard in the public school range. It is good when students own their own instrument and when they put it towards to the future. Not only do they learn responsibility, they're keeping an instrument that will last. Again, music and arts is giving quality instruments. The instrument could probably last to your parents, your grandkids, so it can last for that while. Um, Eddie, I believe if there are not any more questions, Osmar Victoria, if there are not any questions, I don't see any in the chat. I thank you again, everyone. For is there any question here on live?
I have one more question.
One more question live in the room.
Sure.
How would like the renting do? Do you give the money to Mr. Corpus and that, or
The question is, does the money go to me?
No. So basically, your parents would set up. Basically, when you do an online rental, they would put in the customer information. So it would be the renter, which would be parents, and then your students that are actually playing the instrument. So basically, it's gonna whatever information that they put in there to make that initial payment, we'll charge that card each month. So
like
usually. Yeah, I mean, I know it's high school, and high school students may have debit cards and things like that too. But as far as the as far as an online rental, it has to be like a parent or guardian doing the rental.
So parents, it's when you input your credit card information during the initial signing of everything and the initial account creation. That is the card that's going to be charged. Please don't have your kids pay me. I'd rather not deal with that. Your account should stay with music and arts. And so
Yeah.
Lopez did ask,
Eh,
is it basically like a Netflix subscription?
I mean,
guess
I guess you could say that, but like I said, if
really, that's how the kids
whatever
that's how
card we
the
have
kids
on
think of it.
file, it's gonna automatically draft that card, and then so basically, even if you if you don't do auto draft, I mean, there's just going to be a regular bill, paper bill that will come right in the mail, just like an electric bill or something like that.
So they're definitely gonna bill you.
So if you were late on like a payment, then what?
All rates apply. If you miss a payment, please look at the fine writing. It depends on the contract of the instrument, but don't miss a payment.
Now,
Okay.
if you wanted to stop there, just like, do I go up to you or go up to?
That is a good question. Eddie, what if they want to stop?
Yeah, so basically, if you return an instrument, you just have to call the corporate office and basically tell them you want to return your instrument. They'll look up the account based off, phone number, email, or if you have the instrument serial number, and then they will basically put a return authorization on that number, so everything is stopped. And then since I basically work remotely, we don't have a store in San Diego County yet. Then the student would just drop it off with the teacher, and the teachers, because they usually will put the they'll kind of prompt you to actually get a big sheet of paper, write the authorization number on that, stick it inside the case, so we'll know what's being returned, and then I'll pick it up from the school and process the return for you. But once it's in return authorization, that's in pending, so you're not going to get charged beyond that.
And if we wanted it back, we just do it again.
And the question is, what if we want it back? Do we basically do the whole process again?
Right. So if you rent for a school year and you got that rental credit and you return it, and basically you just lost that rental credit, and if you need to rent another instrument, you just start all over again.
I see. So that's a good clarification. You lose the credit in order to want to own the instrument. So,
yeah, if you kind of think like, oh, I might not be using it over the summer, and then I mean it happens all the time. Like people rent it for a school year, and oh, my student's not in music for the summer, and they return it, and then not thinking that they're gonna play next year, and they kind of come in the fall, and oh, I got to start all over again when I rented an instrument all last year. So if you know you're gonna continue playing in that following year, you just continue renting it.
If you know you're gonna continue, keep on going. And that's my hope for all my kids, all the way from freshman to senior. Well, Eddie, thank you so much. I thank you those who have joined us live and both online. Just as Eddie said, during our band camp on September 26th, Monday, the time is going to be in the afternoon. We said 6 to 8. We'll see how that works out. More information will be presented to you. So if you want to see these instruments live, you want to talk to Eddie live, but of course, if you want to stay online, I think there'll be some options for that as well. Please stay tuned for September 26th. More information coming. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Excuse me, Mr. Corbin.